Boxing fans, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, in the ring at this time, please welcome.
Are more than just another fight card. They represent moments where careers are defined, reputations are tested, and the unforgiving truth of the sport reveals itself under the bright lights. On this particular night in March 2026, the atmosphere inside the venue felt electric, as if everyone present understood they were about to witness something significant in the Cruiserweight division. The introductions alone carried the weight of anticipation. When the announcer's voice thundered across the arena, the crowd rose in a wave of excitement. First came the challenger, Brandon "Bulletproof" Glanton, stepping into the ring from the blue corner wearing white trunks trimmed with orange and black. Hailing from Atlanta, Georgia, Glanton arrived with a professional record that commanded respect. 20 wins, 2 defeats, and an astonishing 17 knockouts painted the picture of a fighter who carried serious power in his fists. Ranked among the top contenders by major sanctioning bodies and sitting within the top 10 according to the Ring magazine, Glanton entered the ring knowing that a single explosive performance could change the trajectory of his entire career. Across the ring waited the champion, Jai Opetaia, a fighter whose rise through the cruiserweight ranks had been nothing short of remarkable. Known for his calm demeanor and precise technique, Opetaia had already proven himself on the biggest stage. His legendary victory over Mary's Bridis had etched his name among the elite of the division. In that brutal encounter, Opetaia famously fought through the pain of a broken jaw while continuing to execute a masterful strategy. That night transformed him from a promising contender into a legitimate world champion and established his reputation as one of the toughest and most disciplined fighters in modern boxing. Yet this fight carried its own unique storyline. The bout was scheduled as a high-profile cruiserweight showdown connected with the promotional ambitions of Zuffa Boxing, a new venture that sought to carve out its place in the boxing world. The stakes were complicated by sanctioning disputes involving the International Boxing Federation, but regardless of the politics behind the scenes, the fighters themselves remained focused on the only thing that truly mattered: what would happen once the bell rang. For Opetaia, the mission was clear. He wanted to continue building his legacy and move one step closer to his ultimate dream of becoming the undisputed champion of the cruiserweight division. Every training camp since his championship triumph had been designed with that goal in mind. His preparation emphasized precision, endurance, and strategic discipline. Coaches drilled him endlessly on footwork patterns, defensive reactions, and the smooth combinations that had become his trademark. The philosophy was simple: control distance, dictate tempo, and dismantle opponents piece by piece. Glanton, however, represented a completely different challenge. Where Opetaia was calculated and methodical, Glanton thrived on chaos. His style was built around relentless forward pressure, heavy body shots, and the willingness to engage in punishing exchanges. Analysts often described him as a fighter who might appear slow at first glance, but one who carried explosive power that could change a fight in a single moment. When Glanton stepped forward and began unloading combinations, opponents quickly realized they were dealing with a dangerous puncher who refused to take a step backward. The stylistic contrast between the two men made the matchup particularly compelling. Boxing has always been a sport where contrasting approaches create the most dramatic battles, and this fight seemed destined to deliver exactly that. Opetaia preferred to move smoothly around the ring, snapping crisp jabs and carefully selecting his power shots. Glanton, by contrast, aimed to trap opponents along the ropes, close the distance, and unleash a storm of punches that forced them into uncomfortable exchanges. As fight night approached, both camps understood the tactical chess match that awaited them. Opetaia's strategy revolved around maintaining distance and preventing Glanton from establishing his pressure. If he could control the center of the ring and keep the fight at his preferred range, his technical superiority would likely begin to shine as the rounds progressed. Glanton's game plan was far more aggressive. He needed to close the gap early, target the body, and disrupt Opetaia's rhythm before the champion could settle into his methodical pace. Training camp footage offered glimpses into the preparation unfolding behind closed doors. In Opetaia's gym, sparring sessions emphasized speed and timing. His team pushed him through long rounds designed to simulate the intensity of championship competition. Nutritionists monitored every detail of his diet, while recovery specialists ensured that his body remained in peak condition. The goal was not merely to win the fight, but to dominate it through discipline and efficiency. Glanton's camp looked different, but equally intense. His workouts focused heavily on explosive strength and relentless pressure. Coaches drilled combinations that targeted the body before finishing with powerful overhand rights. Sparring partners were instructed to move constantly, forcing Glanton to cut off the ring and apply the suffocating pressure that defined his style. The message in his corner was clear: this opportunity might come only once, and he needed to seize it with everything he had. Beyond the physical preparation, the mental battle between the two fighters added another layer of intrigue. Opetaia projected calm confidence during interviews, speaking with the quiet authority of a champion who trusted his preparation. He often reminded reporters that discipline and focus had carried him through every challenge in his career. Glanton, meanwhile, radiated determination. For him, this fight represented the chance to shock the world and prove that he belonged among the elite names in the Cruiserweight division. When the opening bell finally rang, the tension inside the arena exploded into action. The first few rounds unfolded exactly as many analysts had predicted. Opetaia began by establishing his jab, using it like a measuring stick to control distance and dictate the pace of the fight. He circled the ring with smooth footwork, forcing Glanton to chase him while carefully studying the challenger's timing. Glanton responded by pressing forward relentlessly. He attempted to cut off the ring and close the distance, launching heavy shots to the body whenever he found an opening. Each exchange carried a sense of danger because Glanton's power was undeniable. Even when his punches missed, the sheer force behind them served as a reminder that one clean shot could dramatically alter the course of the fight. As the rounds progressed, the tactical battle became increasingly fascinating. Opetaia's precision allowed him to land clean combinations that gradually accumulated damage. His straight left hand snapped forward with surgical accuracy, often followed by sharp hooks that forced Glanton to reset. Yet the challenger refused to be discouraged. He continued marching forward, determined to drag the champion into the kind of brutal firefight where his power could make the difference. Conditioning soon began to play a critical role. Opetaia's measured pace allowed him to maintain consistent output without exhausting himself. Glanton's high-pressure approach demanded tremendous stamina, and every failed attempt to trap the champion required him to expend additional energy. The deeper the fight went, the more important endurance became. Between rounds, the corners worked furiously to guide their fighters. Opetaia's team emphasized composure and patience, reminding him to trust his strategy and avoid unnecessary risks. In Glanton's corner, the tone was more urgent. Trainers encouraged him to increase his aggression and take calculated chances, recognizing that he might need a dramatic moment to shift the momentum in his favor. Boxing history is filled with examples of fights that change in an